Hello, respected viewers, audiences, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the webinar series for today's. And on behalf of NSRIC and its subsidiary, this is Dr. Enamul Hussain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So hopefully everyone is doing good job. So I really appreciate your presence and your support to the NSRIC and its subsidiary, which gives us tremendous forces to spread knowledge, to disseminate knowledge through your support globally. So today's webinar is related to visitor visa in Canada. I think almost everyone are aware of Canada is a very nice place. There are numerous historical places that are really very attractive to visit Canada. On the other hand, Canada is also immigrant friendly, multicultural land where millions of people every year coming as an immigrant to the land. So it's a blended society where you will find multi-faith, multicultural people, and definitely every province has its own beauty, and couple of world wonders are there. For example, the Rocky Mountains. The one of the seven wonders of the world is Cape Breton Cabot Trail, and then Newfoundland Labrador beauty. Those are world wonderful places leveled as one of the seventh wonders. So, visitor visa by default, as you know, this visa is issued to any person who is willing to visit Canada. Like the other country, you know that visitor visa is for the people who wanted to explore the beauty, the culture of the country. So the tourists come here every year. More than million people come to visit Canada. Like the other country, here some of the tips I can give you to understand clearly, because almost every time when it comes to visitor visa and it comes to this temporary visa, people sometime might get confused, or they wanted to transfer the visitor visa into other visa. So let me first tell you, visitor visa, when a person come and join the Canadian land to start with the visiting visa, it is called temporary resident visa. So we'll have the opportunity to explore, but you are not legally authorized to permanently stay in Canada. This is one thing we should clearly understand. According to the law of Canada, you can stay up to 6 months. It can be less than 6 months, it can be more than 6 months. However, it depends on the border immigration officer, the port of entry where you are willing to enter the country. The person, the immigration officer who is going to evaluate your status, he or she will be authorized to allow you more than 6 months or less than 6 months. In general, it is given up to 6 months for the one time stay. And then the border officer can give you the maximum of expiry date of your passport, multiple entry visa. So in one entry, you can have maximum of 6 months, and then you need to go back, and then you can enter till your passport expire. So back and forth, back and forth. This is the normal standard, normal practice that you should. Now, if you wanted to work here in Canada, if you wanted to transfer your visa, if you wanted to stay more than 6 months, that means the date that are given in your passport when you enter the country, There are a couple of ways. One is, let's say, you can utilize this into express entry, provincial nominee, family sponsor, and then you can also transfer the visa if you can arrange a job, arrange an appointment letter from the employer who are Canadian employer, then you can transfer it to work visa. So visitor visa can be translated into different way. One of the most popular one is student visa. So you come here, you get admission in a program which should be more than 6 month length program, because if the program is less than 6 months, then you don't need to have the study permit, because your duration is 6 months, so you can finish it. So you have to find a program that are more than 6 months, and then you can transfer your visa from visitor visa to study permit. This is one of the most popular one. Second most popular one is, if you manage a job through a Canadian employer, then you can easily transfer your visitor visa into work permit visa. The other type, as I mentioned, those are regular process. You can apply, and then within Canada, as long as you are applying, so you will get some advantages. But if you go outside the Canada, then the advantages that you should receive may not be applicable. So you can prepare your, let's say, express entry, PNP, which we'll call provincial nominee program, territorial program. You can apply from the country. But if you do not receive the response within the 6 months, then you have to go back to your original country. So this is how it works. Now, with the visitor visa, sometimes people ask us, what is the purpose of the invitation letter? This is another important document that you may present to the application. You can add these to your application, which may bring some sorts of additional advantages in your application. So, your friend, your family members, your relatives, or if you wanted to join a conference, workshop, something like this. For example, we are organizing an in-person conference in November 2024. So, if someone willing to come to Canada with the as a conference attendees, author of the conference paper to present, then the conference authority may issue an invitation letter for you. So this type of letter. If you add it in your application, it will have an additional value for you to convince the immigration officer for issuing a visitor visa. But there are millions of examples without invitation letter. People are getting the visitor visa. So there is no worry, the people who cannot manage the invitation letter. But the most important document for getting the visitor visa are: number one, your purpose, why you are willing to visit Canada. If you, for example, go to our website, you will see the list of document, where one of the document is purpose of visit, why you wanted to visit Canada. This is very important, and the applicant do mistake actually. They do not give the full attention to the document, which is this one. It is solely your purpose. So you need to write in advance with the true information. You should not mess it up with some not true, false information, because ultimately it will backfire you. So, purpose of visit is one of the important document. Another document is the bank balance. You have to prove that you are self sufficient, you are financially sound, financially healthy to visit Canada. And then tie with the country, meaning you are coming here for visit. There are there are hundreds of reasons that you will go back to your country. So tie with the country. This is another important document after purpose of visit. So the tyness meaning you have a government job, you have a very good job, private job or public job, no problem. The job NOC, right? And then you have permanent address in the country, you have wealth in the country, you have children if you are married. Your children are going to school and they are well set, and you have business in the country. So this proves that you will not be staying here intentionally. Your intention is to come to Canada, enjoy the society, enjoy the natural beauty, but with time, within the time frame, you will go back to your country. So, this is the second document. Third document is bank statement. You have to prove that, as I mentioned, the financial status. 10, 12,000 dollars is okay if you can show, and then your other asset document. So your purpose of visit, your tie with the country, financial strength. This is the number 3. Number 4 is your income tax document. And that's what we do mistakes sometimes. The client that sometimes we handle, they are very healthy financially and they are good, they have everything, but they do not have income tax document. One of our client is struggling now because he did not file the tax. So you are healthy, you are financially sound, it proves by the income tax. Does not matter you are paying income tax to government or not, meaning you are regular in your documentation, you are punctual, you are a good citizen of the country. Those are the proof by the income tax document. So this is the fourth document. There are some other documents that are obvious. For example, your passport, your national ID card, your travel plan, your flight itinerary, where you will stay, so visit plan. All these are part of the document. So if you visit our NSRIC Immigration and Visa Consulting, you will find all these list of documents that are needed. Now, there are some questions normally we receive from our well wishers, from our client side, from our visitors. That can I stay, for example, more than 6 months in the country? Yes, of course, you can stay, but it need to be approved by the border immigration officer at the port of entry. If they allow, you can stay. Otherwise, you need to go back. Then the burning point sometimes they ask is, can I apply for asylum? This is very burning issue. We know that many people come as a visitor and they claim for asylum. My strong recommendation is you should not do it until unless you are really an eligible candidate to apply for this. The reason behind it, Because Canada is a developed country, as you know, your information is just in the fingertip. So if you try to apply and go in that direction, you can, no doubt, but it will backfire you in the majority of the cases. How? Let's say you are claiming, you are applying for asylum, which is very, very important, specifically for East Asian and subcontinent people, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Nepal, these countries, people that try to do this, which is backfiring them. How? If you apply, your passport will also be frozen. So you do not have any way to move around. You cannot go outside the country. Number two, you are in the hanging position for at least 5 to 8 years. So if you are alone, if you are single, your family is in your country, so you are stuck. Government will give you some sorts of social support that are very minimal. You cannot do anything. And then there are lots of obstacles in front of you till it is done, meaning if there is a decision, you cannot really do anything. Now, the decision can be negative, can be positive. So, even let's say 50% negative, 50% positive. So you are at risk if the decision by the judge who is evaluating your application for asylum, if it is negative, for the lifetime, you cannot further stay and enter Canada. So these are the real obstacles, real threat in your application, and you are being a responsible person for the family. You are ruining your life, you are ruining your family life. So my suggestion for our viewers, for our audiences, for our subscribers who follow us, who give us good feedback, who really like us, our high recommendation and request for you people, do not do and go in this direction if you do not have sufficient background, if you do not have sufficient document to claim asylum. On the other hand, there are many ways you can stay. In the beginning of the introduction of today's webinar, I try to explain the best and easiest way to transfer your visitor visa into study permit, work permit, and you can apply for the other types of immigration options. So having all this nice opportunity, why I should take risk? This is the question. So and then the visitor visa, there are some other opportunity here. If you come as a visitor, there are some education program in Canada in different colleges, universities that 6 month, 5 month, 4 month duration courses, training courses. So you can avail those and you can parallelly try to get a job. I can set an example. Let's say you are health sector expert, you are nurse, for example, you are lab technician, you are the CT scan technician, just throwing some example. So there are abundant job opportunity in Canada for technical side, not necessarily the medical technician, even the engineering technician. Recently, for example, we advertise for our denting and painting car mechanics. This is indeed very urgent. So people are willing to come to Canada as a denting and painting mechanic. So here you will have opportunity. Let's say air conditioning and freeze mechanic. Let's say technician, plumber, then construction workers. There are numerous sectors, but if you have a technical skill, come here as a visitor and take 4 months, 6 month training in a Canadian institution. It will add really, really value in your career and you can easily manage a job. On the other hand, if you are skilled, for example, NSRIC offer different skill development program, right? So if you take the courses and program align with your skill set, you are very much eligible to manage a job within a short period of time. And I also, in my different webinar series and different video clip, I try to educate our people that you become eligible to manage a job when your skill set are there. Unskilled labor, for example, cleaning or agriculture, this type of job, you don't need that much skill, but yet you need IELTS. If you wanted to come and permanently stay here, IELTS is an obstacle for some of our client. But this is an English speaking country, we should not forget. So IELTS is must. Only visiting visa does not require any IELTS or English proficiency proof certificate. But for the other type of visa, you need to prove that your English proficiency is up to the mark. So those are the things before you come, you need to think about. These days, people come specifically. I request all our Bangladeshi brothers and sisters, with all due respect, wanted to really, really warn you. I wanted to really, really make a waking call. Thousands of Bangladeshi brothers and sisters are coming to Canada under visitor visa or in any port of entry. They land, specifically in Montreal. Majority of the cases, they land and they immediately apply for asylum through a lawyer. And they have a deal, 25,000. I heard about like that. They have a deal with the lawyer, with the agent, and they pay this much money. Lawyer put the asylum file to the authority and they become stuck, as I explained in the middle of this webinar. And then they cannot do anything. On the other hand, they are putting lots of money for this asylum. So it is backfiring us as a Bangladeshi. It is backfiring you as a person, as a victim. So they are trying to add some false statement, false document, because this opportunity in Canada is given for the people who are really, really threatened by the country government for their life, for their safety, for their family, and they are discriminated because of religion, because of race, because of color, and so on, so on. So these are the people, if they have proper documentation, then only you can apply. But as a regular person, if you apply, you would be in danger. So my second request to our audiences, subscriber, our follower, not to do this. We are here to help you in legal way. We always 24/7 for you to support your case, to make your dream in reality. And we are here to help you to migrate to Canada. But it must be in the legal way. With this, I wanted to conclude the webinar session. Again, I thank you and Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslim community who are fasting. to watch this webinar series, to join this webinar series from different places on earth. Thank you very much. I would highly appreciate you subscribe us to get the weekly, daily information through us. This series has been introduced to help the people who are coming to Canada and they might have different questions. So, this is the time, this is the webinar series where we try to accommodate your questions and wanted to give you suggestion to help the community people so you are not being misguided. Thank you very much again for being with us. Allah Hafiz. Stay safe. Brother Jamshed Alam, thank you very much for your question. I have completed BS Electrical and Electronics Engineering, but now I want to admit into MSc in Software Engineering. Is it possible? Brother Jamshed, this is a very good question and common question. I don't know from where you are giving this question. Specifically in Bangladesh, there is a misconception that if you wanted to study in one program, let's say in social science, you cannot move around. You have to continue up to your PhD. But here in Canada, you are open to study in any discipline from any discipline. So there is no restriction. Even a social science background person can be a medical doctor. Okay. So answer is obvious. Being an electrical and electronics engineer, definitely you can apply for software engineering for your master's program. In engineering, you know that relatively more scholarships are there. So if your result is really very good, let's say 3.7, 3.6 and above, there is a possibility to get no scholarship. So if you are interested, you can talk to Mr. Samsul Azam or you can call our office number 226-271-7206. I think it helps your question. Again, the other question is Canada refusing most visit visa in these days? Actually, this is not the correct information. The problem is specifically for Bangladeshi people who are willing to come to Canada. There is a backlog. That means too many people applied for visitor visa and huge number of people unfortunately or fortunately already entered in Canada and many of them claims asylum. That is how it is backfiring as a nation, the Bangladesh, and as a country, Bangladesh is going to be criticized. So that is the reason it is slow. But obviously, they are now aware of the government of Canada and the immigration officers that majority of the people are not willing to come back. So, and recently, Canadian government, probably you might know that, made a policy that they wanted to cut 35% of the student visa, specifically in the university program. So that also affects the rejection. So you have to be very careful. Mr. Buinui Amsilia, thank you very much to be with us in the webinar series. How can I do to apply? So you wanted to apply for a visitor visa as long as you did not mention, but in general, you can apply. As I mentioned, if your documents are ready, you can easily apply through the website. So online, independently, you can apply, but you need the document that I try to explain. So all those documents you prepare and you go to the Canadian website for a visitor visa. I can show you. This is the, let me show you. You can, by yourself, you can apply. No need any agent, no need anyone. So this is the, you see, this is the .canada.english immigration, refugee and citizenship services. So this is the website through which you can apply. However, you can also apply through us, which is most authentic and it is reliable. So you have the option to choose which way you wanted to go. If you apply through us, we have expert people who review your file and who carefully handle your file, and you are quite certain to get the visa. If you apply as an individual by yourself, of course, there is a possibility to get the visa, no doubt of it. So it's up to you how you apply. Thank you. Is your agency registered by Canadian government? Thank you very much, brother. Definitely, we are Canadian organization, and there is no doubt that we are registered, and we are not agent, we are company. Okay. If you go to our website, you see here the registration number. This is clearly given here. So without registration, Canada is a developed country, as you know. So without registration, we cannot explore our business. We cannot be visible in the community. So definitely, we are registered and we have office. You can even go and visit government website. You should find our name as an legal entity who is supporting, who is giving, offering their services to the people when it comes to immigration and visa consulting. On the other hand, this is one of our subsidiary. We have other business as well. For example, the school. We have also a school, you see, NSIC International School in Toronto. And then let's say we have also conference, you see, where we organize conferences. So in this year, this is the conference we are going to organize March 3035. So as an entity, we are group of company, and this immigration and visa consulting is a subsidiary of our organization. I think it helps your understanding and it gives you confidence about ourselves. And you can follow in different social media about us to get the correct information how you can move to Canada. Thanks a lot. Mr. Abu Said, thank you very much for your question. Is there any way I can apply to work in Canada from Singapore? Definitely, there are work visa. We also work in that status. You can apply, but again, it costs a lot. So you can communicate with us with your all document. We can advise you in which category you wanted to apply. We need to listen, and accordingly we can advise you, guide you. From Singapore, there are people coming to Canada, specifically the welders, the different technical side people. They are coming through us. Yes. So the simple answer is from Singapore, you can apply for work permit. I am assuming that, by the way, you are a resident of Singapore, meaning you have a valid resident permit. Otherwise, it would be a problem then. You can communicate with Mr. Samsul Azam, please. Can you tell me the total cost of Canada work visa? For us, this is, so far I know, this is the cheapest. We normally take 30,000 US dollar, but if you go to other people, you can try according to the information that we have from our marketing researcher. It varies from 40 lakh to 60 lakh Bangladeshi taka, equivalent to almost, let's say, 36, 37,000 US dollar, all the way to 50, 55,000 US dollar. So if you wanted to go with us, we take $30,000. But based on your qualification, based on your experience, job status, because here employer is an issue. So it may vary to $3,000 less. So you can now compare and go and roam around with different paid agencies who wanted to bring you here in Canada. So you can also talk to them how much money they ask for. Thanks a lot. We have still 15 minutes. This webinar series is designed for 1 hour, half hour explanation about the topic on the topic, and then half hour question and answer. So apparently there are no more questions. Thank you very much for being with us. And again, have a wonderful day and stay safe. Bye bye.